Good evening and welcome to this evening's ARI podcast. It's my pleasure to introduce two passionate individuals who are the driving force behind this year's Beast Adventure Race, which is taking place on the 23rd of May. First off, we have Cormac MacDonald, a seasoned adventure racer who has competed in countless events over the years. Not only has he raced, but he's also poured his energy into organising team adventure races and also team adventure races for ARI. He's worked tirelessly to bring back the beast for us all to enjoy. His commitment to the sport is truly inspiring. Alongside Cormac is Owen, another well-known name in the world of adventure racing. With years of racing experience both here and abroad, Owen has also taken on the challenge of organising team adventure races for ARI, bringing his ideas and dedication to the sport. Both Cormac and Owen share a deep passion for adventure racing and are committed to pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Together, they've worked hard to create an event that will challenge, inspire, and leave a long-lasting impression on everyone who takes part. So please join me this evening in giving a warm welcome to Cormac and Owen. Thanks, Owen. Thanks, Cormac, for joining me today. Just kind of wanted to catch up with you on the Beast and get a bit of a lowdown. But before we do get into the Beast, could you introduce yourselves to those people that are not familiar with adventure racing and maybe kicking off their adventure racing career for the first time doing the Beast? So do you want to kick that off, Cormac? So how you got
Sure.
into adventure racing?
Lorraine, great to see you. Thanks for the opportunity. And I'm Cormac MacDonald. I live in Carlow in the southeast, but I'm originally from County Mayo. And I pretty much discovered the sport of adventure racing maybe about 15 or more years ago with events like the Taurus Bag and the original Beast adventure race, and indeed other shorter races that were happening around that time. So I've been involved with the sport of adventure racing over that time.
Brilliant, brilliant. Cormac, I suppose just a little bit more history on yourself. You were on the committee for Adventure Racing Ireland for a couple of years as well. You were chairman and obviously was started off as a member on that as well. So you're fairly versed in the world of adventure racing.
Yeah, exactly. It was a COVID project, Lorraine. We felt that a number of people that were involved with adventure racing felt we needed an association or something to help the sport to grow and develop. And so we started having those conversations back in 2001 or 2021, around COVID time. And we Adventure Racing Ireland now has been active for about 4 years. So very proud of that, and hopefully it will continue to grow and develop.
Cool. Thanks a million, Cormac. Owen, yourself, how did you fall into the world of adventure racing?
Hello, Ryan. So basically, I'm from Laois, but was working in Limerick, living in Galway present. And we used to do a lot of the guys from work. We used to do a lot of biking down in Ballyhara, which was being developed back at the time. And we kept hearing about this Beast of Ballyhara. So one year anyway, we decided, myself and one of the other guys, we said, right, we're going to go do this. So that was 2011. We didn't have a full team. We had to talk to Ivan. Ivan sorted us with two other people that we'd never met before. But yeah, it was some experience in the sense that we didn't finish it. It was we hadn't done any training together, so it was the first time we'd meeting. And we'd realized shortly in the race that we didn't have a nav. We thought we had. Anyway, but since then, yeah, it did turn me off because I came back then in 2012 then, and we finished the full beast. That was one of us down in Cork. So from then we just kept going each year, trying to do it every year. So yeah, so but since then we kind of doing, the day ones, as like Cormac says, the Gale Force, the Wicklow Wars, those sort of races then as well in parallel. But as time goes on, then we've kind of done a few more international ones now as well, which like multi-day ones as well, like which have been phenomenal. I'd highly recommend them. But yeah, so that's my background on that one.
Cool. So I suppose as well for people to be aware of, both of you are race directors with the smaller TAR events, which are the team adventure racing events that Adventure Racing Ireland have been hosting over the last few years, and getting a calendar together of voluntary race directors coming on board, taking on the race. And both of you have been doing that over the last few years. I know, Cormac, you've had a few, and also yourself, Owen. So is the Beast the next step up then for both of you in that sense?
Yeah, very much that's the case, Lorraine. I think the sport of adventure racing relies on race directors, and we live off the events that are run. We're blessed with a great calendar of solo day races, but it's more trickier to get the actual team races happening. And we were blessed with it for a few years, having the likes of Ivan Park running kind of races, short races, 5, 6 hour races, and then also race directing the Beast. So we really got used to kind of Ivan really leading the way on organizing team races. But Ivan, basically, family situations and life changes and all of that, and so he steps back, and there's a void there a bit. And so I found myself really, my first motivation would have been, well, we need to be organizing races, more races, and we need to try and work out a way of doing that. My first race that I organized on my own was the Shamrocker Adventure Race,
Yeah.
and I was able to do that in collaboration with Brian Keogh from Total Experience. And then I was able to organize the Shamrocker the next year in collaboration with Paul Mahan from Outfront Events. And from that, then we were able to, I've organized the Wild Wicklow Adventure Race and the Southeast Adventure Race in Inistioge last year. So I've been kind of slowly building up experience on organizing races. And then the natural next step is to kind of try and push the distances a bit. And of course, we haven't seen the Beast Adventure Race, very special race for Ireland. We haven't seen that around for a few years, and so really it was kind of it was time to bring it back. And that's kind of what myself and Owen have come together to do. We've raced together actually on a couple of races in teams. So now we're testing ourselves in the race organizing zone. So both of us have come together, and of course, there's others involved as well to try and make the race possible. And I guess many hands make light work is generally the mantra.
Very good.
Yeah, that was 2013, Cormac, when we had our first international experience. We went to Slovenia.
Was that the roller skating one?
It was. Don't mention the war. Rollerblading, Lorraine.
Rollerblading. Yes. Very good.
Okay.
In 35-degree heat.
Yeah, I can imagine. It must have been amazing. And Owen, for you, like you've organized a couple of races as well over the last few years.
Myself and Pat Callahan worked together, and we organized one in Killaloo, Ballina, which is again very familiar ground for both of us because we're close to Limerick. And then the following year, then we took it to Ballyhowrah. Now that was in January. We kept that to more like a duathlon in the sense that it was a foot and then foot section and then mountain biking around the Ballyhowrah. So I didn't want to complicate it with kayaking at that time of the year because water levels are always quite high. So yeah, so to be able to do the Beast now, like Cormac said, Ivan, life just got complicated and he had to stop doing it. But it was only when it was gone we realized how much we really, missed it, and we underestimated the amount of work that Ivan had to do to get these events, and we kind of just took it for granted. But now that it's gone, you can see that like we think there's a demand here. Like we're mad for it to throw it together and hope people will turn up and give it a bash,
Yeah.
see if they love it. Because, you might not love it when you're out there. When you go home, that's when I think you'll fall in love with it.
Yeah. I think there's good appetite there. Like currently, registration is good. Um, yeah, I think there's an appetite, and seeing the teams that were in the UK for Itera Light last year
Mhm.
now,
Yeah.
there during the summer. So yeah, I think there's good appetite there for it. So it should be a good one to bring the beast
Yeah,
back.
I think Lorraine, it's maybe important to say that the reason that that event is important is that it's a big, tough event. It's a big one, right? It was always up there as the big event. You could do other events during the year. You could do day races, but a lot of people in the outdoor adventure community, they really use that event as a kind of a place to meet other people and also to really just test their skills, their navigation skills, paddling skills. It's certainly not something that you would do, every month, or, you would do it once a year, where you do like maybe, that idea of a 30, 32, 36 hour race where you're out for 2 nights with your teammates, with your friends, and you're testing yourselves against the outdoors and the course that is set for you. And so it really was an event that we learned a lot about the sport of adventure racing. A lot of people made great friends. A community was developed, and it really gave really amazing memories. As Owen said, that's why we're doing it. Because it has given us such great memories, and it has created so many great friendships over the years, that really big events like that, that's what they do. They can be challenging. Some people say the hardest part is getting to the start line. And what that means is it's the training, it's the organizing of gear, it's the actual getting time away from maybe family and stuff like that, and getting to a race location kind of for that registration. But once you make it down there, the race is nearly, you're halfway there once you're at the start line, I would say, and once you're working as your team, your teammate, you're learning how to work in a team, of course, in team adventure racing, and anything can happen. Adventures, can happen in all sorts of ways, but memories are created, and that's why I would encourage anyone to take on a challenge that's above and beyond yourself, and go for a 24-hour race, go for something longer, go and bring your friends together, plan it, talk to other people that have done that race, and come and do it, because you will not regret it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Cormac. They are a great way to meet people, socialize with people, make new friends, learn things about yourself that you weren't aware of along the way. And sometimes it's about knowing how far you can push yourself, which is absolutely amazing. You know,
That's right.
I do
That's
think it's,
that's the that is the sport of adventure racing. You discover more about yourself when you're in hard situations, and you find your way out of it, and you get to the finish line, and there is nothing like a finish line on a team adventure race, where when you cross the line together and you've achieved something as a team, and it's a very, very special thing, and it's a real key part of our sport.
you've kind of outlined there, I suppose, Cormac, the importance of the beast coming back. Like everything you've said there is kind of outlined why it's so important for us, and for Adventure Race in Ireland to have the beast back in the calendar, and how we can drive it forward for the coming years. Is there anything else that you'd kind of want to maybe rubber stamp on that as well, about how important it is to have it back?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it's great that we have Adventure Racing Ireland, and that allows us to be able to hold events, and hopefully we can, develop, try and get more people kind of trained and get experience in organizing races. And we've been doing that over the last couple of years, where different people have been taking on kind of responsibilities, and we've been learning the actual skills of how to organize races, how to do maps, how to organize the logistics, all of that. So that's really great. And just if we can bring more people in, to organize shorter races, that's where you get great experience. And coming in as a volunteer and as an assistant race director, that's all brilliant stuff, right? You need a team of people to actually organize any race. And so, I mean, my hope and dream would be that we would be, Adventure Racing Ireland would be like orienteering or the our IMRA, that we would have a calendar of events happening kind of in Ireland every year, and we would have like, yeah, we would have one big. The Beast would be an annual event, and the Beast was always on the August Bank Holiday weekend, usually down in the in North Cork in the Ballyhowra region, and obviously it moved around the country, which was great. Donegal and up in Northern Ireland and around, and that was really good. So if we can keep the one big race, one expedition style race that could be part of the European ARWS series, and could also then work with our colleagues over in UK with the Four Nations Championships. So where we start to build that, creating a number of events for people to do, but having certainly one big one in Ireland would be fantastic. If we can keep that going every year, I think that would be that's the goal.
Yeah,
for sure. Your cell phone, have you anything to kind of add to that, of the importance of the Beast coming back and the Adventure Race in Ireland calendar, and the importance of it for adventure racers as well within the community to be able
yeah.
to?
Like I see, like to bring back the Beast and to do back to 24 hours, and like maybe in the future we'll be able to get longer, maybe 36, 48 hours. We'll see how it goes. But it's a good stepping stone for people who's getting into adventures, because like you know the international races, like the ones in Europe or even further afield. Honestly, I can't think of a better way of seeing a country with a bunch of mates than doing those overseas adventures tonight. You could be out there for 5 or 6 days, kind of looking at yourself, thinking, "What the hell am I doing here?" But I guarantee you, when you go home and you sit on that couch after everything, the memories will come flooding back, and you can't look. You'll have them forever. Um, this is just a stepping stone to get people into it and get them going. And if they like it, they'll grab it with two hands. If they don't, you might never see them again. But
Yeah.
at least they've tried.
Yeah. And just
So
to say as well, Lorraine, that the Beast Adventure Race and Team Adventure Races, it's there for everyone, right? We all came from doing IMRA runs, doing orienteering events, doing a bit of mountain biking, dabbling in different sports. And this is what appealed to us then, which was that you had multi-sport. You had a variety of things. You could do mountain biking, paddling, trekking, navigation. You're in a team. So really, anyone can do this, right? Any single person that's if you're doing solo races, if you're doing the Dingles or the Quests or many of the great races around the place, or even if you're doing orienteering events or doing events like mountain biking events, this is one that's there for you. It just brings in more elements, and by bringing in more elements, it gives you more satisfaction, and it gives you a bit more, just a sense of achievement that you're able to actually run through and do a number of different events over or disciplines in a race. And that's what as well is quite important to say, because a race, on the face of it, like a lot of people would look at a 24-hour race and they would go, oh my God, how the hell can I do that? I mean, that's just mental, right? That is absolutely mental. I can't even do I can't, 2 or 3 hours of running, right? The point here is that you don't have to do it's broken up into stages, and you're with your teammates and you're moving as fast or as slow as you want, right? So you're moving through, but changing disciplines every few hours gives you a chance to refresh. It gives you a chance to kind of, maybe change some gear, maybe get some food in, and just change. And a change in a race allows you to actually kind of generate new energy and then keep going again. And so by these races, typically the Beast Adventure race could be like 7 stages or so in a race, right? It could be where you will have you will be biking for a while, then you will be paddling, then you might get to an orienteering stage, you might change. So the change is what keeps it all flowing along, and you don't feel the time slipping by. So anyone can do that if if you're able to actually go and trek in the hills for a couple of hours, if you're able to get up on a mountain bike and just actually bike for a couple of hours, or just jump into a double sit on top kayak or something like that and paddle a reasonable river, like say a lake, or just a regular flowing river. If you're able to do those type of things and you're happy to do them, you're well able to do the likes of a Beast Adventure race.
Yeah.
You'd have a lot of people there from the solo side that are, as you rightly said earlier, that would be doing the likes of a Dardingle or one of the quests or Fear or even the Race to Glory, the sport sections of those. They're going to think, oh, I have to be up all night. I can't do it. It's impossible. I don't think I'll be able to stay going. I can't run that long. And I suppose to break it down for them, they're not going to be running for that long because you're going to be hiking. You know what I
You're going to
mean?
be, yeah, exactly. Most of the mountain stages, you'll be trekking. You'll be doing it as fast or as slow as your team can move, right? You're only as fast as the slowest member of your team, and you've got to work as a team. So you got to bring everyone along. You got to make sure everyone is happy. Yeah, and you got to just move with, with what's comfortable for the team. So you've got to move into a team thinking headspace, and that's probably one of the most important things to actually do in team racing is to stop thinking about yourself all the time and actually just think about your teammates and moving everyone along, right? And helping your teammates if they need a bit of help on a bike or something like that. So yeah, I think any and I was thinking about it there earlier, Lorraine, and the solo races were always a great location for to meet teammates, right? For many years, we used to do the Cooley Adventure Race in June. And, you would be sitting in the after race kind of meal or party afterwards, the prize giving. And that is where you would actually be meeting people to actually put your teams together for the beast. And once you were planning almost to be at that race to meet people to actually try and get on a team. And once you were on a team, the excitement started to build. Once you basically had a team and you were entered, then you had like maybe 2 months or maybe 6 weeks or something like that to actually train and get ready and maybe meet together a few times to actually do some group training. And that's where the excitement was, where you were getting to know your teammates, getting ready for the race, and then you were going to the race weekend itself. So it was a real big package of stuff. But it did start at where you were meeting and trying to actually get a team sorted. And really, there's no other way around it but just to ask and just to kind of ask some of your friends. Maybe, as Owen said earlier, you might have two and you just need two more. And you just need to go and ask a few people, or indeed, obviously, Lorraine, maybe ask yourself. You might know a few that are looking for a teammate. But I think, that's how it does. And the beast this year, it used to be just teams of four. So now we can do it as teams of two. And you can do it as mixed teams. Usually in adventure racing, you have mixed teams. So it's a minimum of one female and three males, but you can make up the team whatever way you want. So yeah, it does allow for it makes it a bit easier to actually get a team sorted.
I suppose, I'm just conscious of time there as well, guys. So, um, what can people expect on the Beast? Is there anything that they need to be working towards, obviously from a navigational point of view, but is there anything that, yeah, like what can they expect out of the Beast for 2025?
Oh, you can give it a shot there for a minute.
Um, the way we've broken down the course, we're still obviously developing the route. I mean, it's simple. It's the simple things, like it's kayaking, it's biking. The biking is going to be on road and off road. It's going to be a combination of both of them, right? Um, you know, the foot sections is going to be like orienteering. There's going to be potentially orienteering in a town, or then possibly there's going to be in a forest. There's another possibly, and then there's going to be a mountain orienteering or something like that, high ground sort of thing. So you have those kind of terrains there, like, but you break them down, they're simple. You just you know they're not going to be huge distances in that, like, so you just have to kind of just and the way we're kind of organizing, you don't necessarily need to do all the checkpoints. You just need to kind of pick up one or two, a bit like the lowlands sort of thing. Again, we're still working on that. Like, we have to tease that up and more, see if
Okay,
that
so
works. Like,
people can finish a short course then.
people can finish. Our aim is to get everyone across that finish line.
Okay, so everyone to be ranked.
Everyone to be ranked. And
So
that's
Lorraine,
like,
it's important
yeah,
important to say as well, Lorraine, that the race itself is going to be based in Carlow as a race headquarters, but that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't really give you much, right? A race like the Beast, you could actually get bussed off to a start. You could actually kind of get dropped somewhere. That was a common thing, all right. And believe you me, we have done the Beast many times, so we're trying to take some of the best things that we saw and we actually had to go through ourselves in the Beast for many years. And what we really liked about the Beast, like the Beast is a challenge. It's not a cakewalk, right? It is not a cakewalk, and it will not be a cakewalk, right? It will be a tough race, and that is, and it will never sugarcoat that, right? We will, people that get to the finish line will have a major smile on their face and a sense of achievement after it. But it's not the Reeks. It's not the Mourne Mountains, right? The Southeast has mountain ranges. It has upland areas. It has, it has actually got a lot of really high quality lake rivers and stuff like that. But it's got a mixture of terrain, but it's not massive high ground. So that is a help, for teams that might be a bit fearful about actually going into higher, more challenging grounds. It's going to be kind of, I would say, more manageable for a lot of teams that want to get into team adventure racing. But it's still going to be a good, tough challenge, But like that as well, there will be, anything between 7, 8, 9 stages, and it will involve the core activities of mountain biking, paddling, trekking, orienteering, and kind of important to say as well that all you need is one good navigator on your team. You don't need everyone to be a map reader. What the good teams, what they usually do is share jobs out. And, they try to actually allow a navigator. And I look at the ideal scenario is that, maybe 2 people could actually share navigation or something like that. But, if you've got one person that knows how to read a map, it's enough, right? It is enough. And so really it's just a case of sharing jobs out and as a team and working together as a team then.
And another thing as well is to Cormac as well is we're starting in the evening, so we're starting. It's an evening, so it starts at like possibly 4 p.m. Now again, we're not going to tire ourselves that time, but that's what we're playing with at the moment. You're at your energy is at your highest. You've got a couple of hours of daylight. You're going into your first night. Well, there's only one night. You're going into nighttime. You're still full of energy. If we started that in an early morning, by the time you got to nighttime, could be depleted, and it would seem like the longest night ever. This way, it's you're going in, you're full of energy. You should be at your best, and then by the time the morning comes, fine, you could be tired, energy's a bit low, but once daylight comes up, your energy levels will lift, and it's
you get a second burst, don't you?
You get a second wind.
When the sun
so
rises.
we think this will work well because you just get straight into that first night within a couple of hours of the start. You're kind of into that night. So there's not too much dwelling about it. You're in it.
Okay.
And we finish then kind of early afternoon, evening on the Saturday evening, which allows us to actually kind of go and get a shower, get cleaned up, have it off the finish line, obviously have a finishing bit of fun, but we're able to go out and have a bite to eat and have a few drinks. So we will have a good after race party, in Carlow. And then, then you've got Sunday to travel home and relax and recover. And, teams that are coming over from the UK, they get a chance as well, because it is a bank holiday weekend in the UK. And, some of the teams that are coming over for the Four Nations Championships, they'll be able to travel back like on Sunday, or indeed travel back on maybe even Monday if they want to stay over for an extra day. So we hope that a few teams will come over from Scotland and Wales, and obviously down from Northern Ireland and over from England.
Brilliant. Okay, so one tip from each of you, one quick tip from each of you for somebody doing the Beast. Or what's your top tip for somebody doing the Beast?
I say a good waterproof jacket.
Lovely.
Yep, I agree with that. And I would probably say a good head torch.
A good head torch.
For the night section. I mean, I don't generally use a bike on my light. I use a good head torch because I always find you can see more with a good head torch. But that's
and bring some spare batteries.
Oh yeah. That'd be part of the mandatory kit anyway. But
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you both so much for joining me today. just have a quick chat about the beast. I really appreciate it. I think a lot of people will learn a lot from this call this evening. So it'll be great for them to be able to catch it up.
Yeah, and just one more thing, Lorraine, don't forget that people, we're planning on doing a mentor program, that if there are teams out there who feel, overwhelmed by this and want help, we do have other adventure racers who aren't on our organizing committee, but know about adventure racing, that will help people, and they won't know the course or anything like that. They'll just give them their knowledge of other races they've done, of how they've dealt with the food, bikes, tiredness, all that sort of stuff. So if people want advice, reach out to us. We will put them in contact with a few of our mentors, and you can ask them anything you need to know about adventure racing, all the stuff even training tips, stuff to start training on, and stuff like that. All right. So just keep that in mind. I think it's up on the website, possibly, maybe not. We'll be putting it up there.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. And I'll be probably in contact with you for another update before the beast comes along. But
excellent. Look forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you ever so much for your time today.
We'll know much more on that one.
Thanks.